There is a part of the watch that plays a major role in how the watch looks and how it feels, but a lot of persons do not really pay attention to this, and I'm referring to the caseback. You see, the caseback of a watch tells us more information about the watch than a lot of us actually do realize, and today we'll be talking about this. Looking at it on a basic level, the caseback of a watch protects the internal workings of the watch, protecting things like the watch movement and other internal components from things such as dust, from moisture, sweat, and everyday use. However, aside this, the caseback also provides some vital information about the watch. Things such as the material with which the case of the watch is made of, as well as the material of the caseback. We can also get the model number of a watch, as well as how water resistant a watch is. And even some caseback provides the information about the form of movement that is encompassed within a watch. So this shows that the caseback is not only functional, but it also provides vital information about a watch. There are basically three common forms of caseback designs. We have the screw down, the press fit, and the 4-screw caseback design. For the screw down caseback, these typically comprise of notches along the edges of the case, and these notches enables the case to be screwed in, providing a tight seal within the watch. And within such caseback, you typically find a gasket which helps to keep water out. Because of the design of the screw down caseback, they typically tend to have a high level of water resistance. What this means is that you would easily find the screw down caseback on watches that do require such high level of water resistivity. So you can easily find screw down caseback in sports watches and dive watches. For the press fit caseback, just as the name implies, they are pressed in and snapshots, providing protection for the internal workings of your watch. But unlike the screw down caseback, these forms of case design, they don't give that high level of water resistance, and you usually find them in dress watches and more affordable forms of watch. Moving on to the 4-screw case design, these cases are usually comprised of 4 or more screws that are screwed in to provide even pressure within the back of the case, enabling you, as the others do also, protect the internal workings of your watch. And because of the way these cases are designed, they are considered as being quite practical, and at the same time, they are easy to work on by watchmakers and watch repairers alike. Now let's move on to the finishing of casebacks. A watch caseback can either be made to have that smooth finish design or a rough, coarse, brush-like pattern. For the smooth design, these tend to look quite appealing because they have that mirror-like effect. But the disadvantage of these forms of pattern is they can tend to become uncomfortable after wearing them for a period of time because they easily attract moisture. So when you sweat on such watches, the back might start feeling sticky and uncomfortable to put on. In comparison, the brush finish tend to feel more comfortable and practical to put on. And the finishing can either be a linear form of brush pattern or a circular brush pattern, where, in my opinion, the circular brush pattern do tend to look more appealing and more interesting to look at because of that circular brush. Now let's move on to a topic that stirs quite a bit of conversation when it comes to watch caseback, which is the comparison between open and closed watch caseback. Open watch casebacks, as the name implies, provide an opening with which you can see the internal workings of the watch. And this tends to look quite appealing on watches that have a well-crafted movement. However, not all watches are meant to have open caseback. I mean, why would you want to have an opening on a watch that has nothing that is quite appealing or even interesting to look at? Closed caseback, by contrast, tend to have a closed design. But this doesn't make them boring by any chance. This is because some watch brands and designers make use of the real estate available on those closed case design as a form of canvas of creativity, engraving various forms of artwork, logos, and historical details. Also, closed caseback at times tend to be a bit more water resistant when compared to open caseback designs. Next time you put on a watch, why not spend some time and observe the caseback and see how much information you can grab about your watch from that back case? Because sometimes the information you want to get about the watch can be found in the place that you least expect. If you would love to see similar content to this, do click the like button and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.